I'm a person that believes in everything that I do as a means to ensure that the future gets the freedom that they so desire. The future gets the freedom that our generations to come so desire. That the future of myself, if I'm still living, get the basic freedom that I desire. I'm mainly driven doing what I'm doing because I've seen a gap between the people who pretend to be doing things for the people. For example, our past liberation heroes, the so-called liberators of this country. They've gone to war to fight for our freedom, and when the freedom was received or gotten, they began to abuse the same freedom that they went to war for against the citizens of Zimbabwe. We are rising up to ensure that we normalize the situation.
Alright, fine. Let's get to the next question. Who is funding you? Who is behind Zvorwadza?
This is a very interesting question to say who is funding us. We are being funded by a number of factors. The first biggest funder is poverty. The second biggest funder is injustice. And the third biggest funder is corruption that we are seeing taking place everywhere and anywhere. And the fourth biggest funder, before I get to a number of smaller funders, the fourth biggest funder is the loss of dignity that Zimbabweans have endured in the hands of an oppressor. Now, if we talk of people funding us, that is a lie. There is no one funding us, there is no one funding this struggle, there is no one funding the social movement. The problems that we are having in Zimbabwe is the biggest driver of the force behind ensuring that we continue fighting. We have a lot of problems that if we relate directly to persons and individuals, we just see ourselves doing it. Roads have potholes, we are failing to get clean water. Just recently, our main hospital in Harare could not afford painkillers. And if you look at all these things, surely would you want to look for a witchcraft or to look for someone who possibly is creating a fund behind these problems? There is no one creating a fund, and it is actually ill-calculated and misinformed to label the West because the West did not create potholes. We have serious problems in the country. Banks, if you look everywhere, they are queues. Little end resources that we put as a form of investment in cash resources in banks, we can't take it out. And surely these problems are behind the push for the social movement, so to speak. Issues that we are pushing will not deter us from doing what we are doing, and the threat behind what could face us is not as much benefit as the push for ensuring that our freedom is attained. Itai was a visionary young man who knew and believed what he was doing. He was a visionary man who understood what it meant to fight for others. And we will ensure that whatever happened to him does not pose a threat to us. Because when we do things, we are not doing it out of need to relate to what people see in the world. We are doing this out of passion. And the passion to define our future is what drives us. And this passion entails ensuring our future generations, our children, to have a just society, an economy that will sustain their lives happily. A nation that will allow peace to prevail. A nation that will support their happiness. So, long and short of it, whatever the state and the country is trying to achieve in brutalizing, abducting, and killing will not deter us. So we are doing this purely as a means to ensure that our future generations have a guaranteed peace of life, a guaranteed life that they may enjoy in an economy that not social groups. We are a social movement, and a social movement is minimum basic beliefs and standards. We do not go about to donors or the international community seeking ways of ensuring that we survive. A movement is driven by the principles and the basic tenets that we support one another, we support each other. This is purely Zimbabwe driven, and it will never at any one point be hijacked by any international force or any external or foreign force. You look what we are doing things in a model that anyone can take audit of what we are doing. And long and short, we believe that the outcomes of what we are doing is measured by what we are inputting. And what we are inputting everything at nearly zero budget. And if anyone wants to relate to the minimum standards of having been funded by international forces, today we would be hovering above the sky in Harare with helicopters, because the international community has funds to buy helicopters. But what you see is just us moving around in our basic mode of transport, on foot, doing what we are doing. If the international community was to intervene like it did in 1960, 1964, 1965, 1966, you would see ships and ships of guns, ships and ships of grenades and detonators coming into Zimbabwe. That is not happening. Meaning to say, we have no direct link, and we so not wish any link with any form of international funders. We are doing this as a homegrown project of civic, peaceful disobedience. And we call this social movement to say everyone, anyone is participating, funding themselves from the heart, not using external funds.